activities. So this is a little instructional reminder vid about our rehab shoulder exercises. So I'm just going to go through them nice and slowly. Please make sure it is a general overview of many of them. Please make sure that you are talking to whoever's looking after your shoulder health, especially if you're rehabbing it in some form or another, and make sure that they are happy with all of these movements that they're doing, because sometimes for different reasons they'll chop some out, put others in, etc., etc. So I'm doing this as a global for everybody. Please make sure that your health professionals or myself, whoever's looking after your shoulder, has said that all these are suitable for you. All right, so let's get started. So hopefully, remember, these are your movements. So hopefully before you've come to this particular video, then you have already done your roll and release or your tapping or your vibrational work specific to you, okay? So pre this video, pre-doing all of this, you should have done any of those that are required. So roll and release, vibrational work if required, and tapping, which falls under a bit of vibrational work as well. So make sure that's done pre this. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is coming into our isometric contractions, where we're not actually moving much at all, and your hand side on. So I am side onto the wall from here. My hand is just at my shoulder height or just slightly underneath. And what I am doing, I'm just going to put my hand down in front. This is not where you want your hand. I want it directly beside you. I want an open shoulder, and I want you to feel your back muscles engaging. And so you've got very wide shoulders, okay? So from here, you want to put your hand, however, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to pop it in front. You're going through your thumb. So you're playing your piano on the wall, and I'm pushing my thumb in. My knees are bent, my pelvis is tucked, I've got my core. Just remember that. It's about the whole body, not just about the hand and the shoulder. I'm going to push my thumb in, and then I'm going to release my thumb and push my pointer finger in. Release my pointer finger, push my middle, release that, push the next one. Now, as I'm doing that, I'm going to go all the way to my little finger, and then I'm going to go back the other way. I'm going to close my eyes, make sure I drop my shoulder, make them wide, and then I'm going to feel the intrinsic movement of what each of those fingers are placing on my shoulder to see if I can get. Now, generally what most people do is that the thumb should engage a bit more at the front, and as you roll through your fingers, you're engaging, and then you go to your little finger, you definitely feel that you're engaging a bit more at the back, and then you can go little finger back to thumb, etc., etc., and then shake that up and swap over, and then go to the other side. So once again, thumb. If you feel more comfortable in a split stance, sometimes people feel more comfortable just putting the leg furthest away from the wall forward. So you can go thumb, pointer, middle. Remember, I'm releasing each finger as I'm getting to the next one. So ring, little, little, ring, middle, pointer, and back to your thumb, and then roll that through again, and then come back. Good. Give that a nice shape. All right, and then from here we're going to go to our isometric contractions on the wall. So it's like a push-up from here. So you can be on your toes or just flat-footed, knees bent, engaged, and I'm just feeling like so when we do this, we want to have our fingertips and the base of our hand on the wall, okay? I don't want you to be, it's not like that, it's like that, okay? So base of the hand on the wall, fingertips on the wall, hands are just underneath, or fingertips are kind of shoulder height equal, tuck your pelvis, and I'm pushing against the wall, but I'm going nowhere. And then I'm gonna release that, and I'm gonna push, and I'm just making sure that that's not driving up to my neck and driving up to the top of my shoulders, releasing it, pushing through, and releasing it. And what I'm feeling is I'm just feeling that arm bone, a humerus, get sucked into the shoulder capsule and then release it. So we're just working with the finer tuned muscles of the shoulder just to get them strengthened and wake them up a little bit. All right, so after you've done that, moving into your next isometric. So we're working with isometric first, and then we're going to work with some what we call eccentric loading, and then we're going to work with some concentric loading. So the next one you want to do is, once again, you need to be specific to the person. So I've got 1 foot forward, I've got my hands here, and I'm engaging in to try and do that movement. So inward rotation is what I'm aiming to do. Drop my shoulder. You might find yourself at a different angle. Maybe you can't get completely square onto the wall. That might have something that's affecting that. So fine, and then I'm trying to go inward rotation. And then I'm going to take this out and then try and do external rotation. So, and then I've got my hand against the wall and I'm trying to push that way to get external rotation. 1, bent knees, tuck pelvis, look at your core stability. And then I'm going to turn around and do a couple on the other side. So I might external rotation, relax, push, relax, push, relax. And then internal rotation, making sure my shoulder is at that right height. And I've already noticed I can get square on with this shoulder, but I've got something myself going on with my left shoulder. So I just, as you saw before, I had to alter it a little bit as I was doing it. And so then I'm trying to get what we call internal rotation, pushing against the wall to then get that internal rotation. All right, so they're your isometric movements that are really important for rehab. The next one we're going to do is we're going to do a bicep curl or a pull, I prefer to call it. I'm going to get one because we're going to do it. Let's start with a little bit of isometric with it. So you're going to stand here and you're going to bend your knees, tuck your pelvis, up nice and tall, shoulders wide, chest not pushed out in front, and you're going to squeeze into the dumbbells. I've got the Novoso ones with the little prickly things on it. Just give my nervous system a bit more of a wake up. Squeeze into it and feel that arm bone get sucked into that shoulder a bit, but I don't want to activate up into my neck or my upper shoulders too much, okay? So I'm going to squeeze and then release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Right, so from here, your shoulders might be good enough to go straight into just squeezing and pulling up. If you're not, I just need to preempt this, then I want you to pick up that dumbbell, squeeze into it, and you're going to do what we call an eccentric load and slowly drop that down. Because if that phase, the concentric load, is causing pain, you're not ready for that yet, okay? So you're going to pick it up, or you can just pick it up, put the hand there, put the dumbbell in there, squeeze into it, and then slowly lower. Nice. Swap it over, bring the hand up, pop it into it, squeeze into it, and slowly lower. Nice. And sometimes when you're doing your rehab work, your brain works well with doing a couple of whatever movement you want. The shoulder that you're working with, brain works better if you get the side that is working really well to do the movement a couple of times, because then what will happen is the other side of the body will then try and mirror what you felt on the better side, okay? So even if one side's not affected, do a couple on the better side and swap it over and then do it with the side that you are trying to rehab, okay? Because then the whole mirroring aspect comes in. Right, if you have moved on from that eccentric load and you don't need to do that, then you can squeeze into it, come up, and then slowly down. My knees are bent, my pelvis is tucked, I'm aware of what my core stability is doing, up and down. And generally, not too many more than 6 repetitions, okay? We just really want to feel the feels, get those muscles activated, wake them up, start to tell them what they're doing, and go from there. You might be able to get out 7, 8, but just watch it. There's no real, definitely going over 10 is not necessary in the world of rehabbing. All right, so we don't want to do some repetitive strain while we're actually trying to rehab things. All right, so that is your pulls or your eccentric loading with that. I'm going to move now. I'm going to come over to our bands. So now you've got your bands, and then what you're going to do, once again, for those that aren't quite up to it, you can then go into your eccentric loading either way. So you can pull it out with your better hand. Once again, do a few on your better side before you start on the side you're rehabbing. So I'm going to pull it out, put it into my arm, and then I'm going to let it eccentric load into. So this is external rotation that I'm popping it into. Feet are a bit further apart, knees bent, tuck your pelvis, let it go. Make sure you're picking a resistance that's good for you. Pull it out. Make sure it's all right, let it go softly, and then let the eccentric load go through. Otherwise, to go the other way, then I'm going to turn around this way from here, and then I'm going to pull the band across me. Let's do this in the other hand so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to pull the band across me, hug myself from here, and then I'm external. Need to come a little bit further out. Pull the band across me, shoulder in the right position, knees bent, pelvis tucked, and then eccentric load back out again. Okay, so hope you all see it. So that's an external rotation. I'm starting here, so you've got to do it on the other side. You're going to start with here, and then you're going to slowly control that movement back out again. Try no matter what you're doing. So I need to keep my tension on my band. Don't let it get sloppy. So you need to, your end and your start point need to have just tiny little bit of resistance on that band. So that's both ways. I've had to show you external rotation, and then with a slow eccentric internal rotation, and then I've had to, then that's internal rotation with a slow eccentric external rotation. Okay, so hopefully I've had to show you different ones on different hands, so hopefully you can work that out if you were facing the other way and having to do the same movement on the other arm. Okay, all right, so that is then your eccentric loading movements with your bands. Then you come, if that's good and you can go further, then you can go into your concentric. From here, I do like to do these with a bit of a hip drive. So your hip drive out, and then you're coming into your external rotation with your concentric movement. So we're pulling into the muscles with the resistant band. And then I'm going to do the eccentric facing you guys. So from here, a bit of a hip drive. Actually, let's just wind that band up a bit so I don't go off screen. Hip drive this way, and then my concentric contraction in my inward rotation, internal rotation from here. Okay. So hopefully you can mirror that. Once again, I've had to show you external on one and internal on the other to stay facing you so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can achieve what you need to achieve on the other side. All right, so then you've gone into there, and then we come into our pulls. So I'm in a split stance. Let's take this video back, camera back a bit more. Going on. So from here, let's get our universal mat underneath us so we've got our proprioceptive awareness. So now I've got my opposite foot forward. I'm working with my, once again, do a couple on the side, that's great, and then do your rehab side second. I'm down, and I'm going to pull back with a small rotation. Down, pull back with a small rotation. Beautiful. Swap that over. Like I said, 6 to 10, that would have been my better side, and then you've got your opposite legs into that one. Your next one from here, I am racing through them quickly. So from here, I've got my, if I've got my hand, right hand on it, I've got my left foot forward. And now I'm going to open up. Actually, let me do this on the other side for you. So my right foot's forward, my left arm, and I'm going to open that up and come downward. That's a little bit tight for rehab. Keep your tension on your band, no soggy bands, and then open that up. Some of you might need to do this one with a little bit of elbow into your rib cage to start with. Before you can start, remember you want to feel those beautiful back muscles. You don't want to feel it up into your neck and shoulder. Feel those back muscles going. And then obviously it's swap legs, left foot forward, right hand forward, and to move it on to the next one. From here, what you can do is take this out, and this is further on. We've already done our external rotation. So you can only do these movements if you're progressing, okay? If you're, the movements that we've already done in this session, in this particular clip, you can't get past them, you can't get to these, okay? So please don't try and progress if you know you need to be right back at the wall and just doing fingers on the wall, okay? If that's where you're at, that's where you're at right now. If that's causing you some kind of decent discomfort, then you're not past that aspect. So I just really want to emphasize that. But otherwise, if you are progressing, your next one from here is your open arcs. We've already done external rotation, so you shouldn't be here. Please make sure you've gone back to your open arcs. Beautiful. And then your other one, coming down. And we're grabbing it with both hands, 1 foot forward again, and we're pulling that back. So it's 2 hands to pull back. And then swap over onto the other leg. So it works your shoulders slightly differently. And once again, 6 to 10. From there, okay. If you've got, getting through that, you should be starting to get more fuller range of motion. Once again, please progress slowly. Please make sure you're chatting to myself or Beck or your own health professional so you are progressing through this in a manner that meets you where you need to be met and not then putting another injury on top of an already existing injury, okay? Thanks, I hope that helps. Please don't forget your rolling and release before this video. You should have done it. Remember, all the shoulder clusters are up. Shoulder clusters is what you're looking for. And definitely no over vibration, please. So some vibration isn't always the thing that you need to be doing for the shoulder. So make sure you've spoken to someone about it to make sure you are doing the correct amount. And maybe you shouldn't be doing any, but once again, that's a chat that you need to have. Hope this helped, guys. Keep going. Remember, shoulders only heal with consistency. You need to be consistent. Sometimes they take 6 to 8 months. They're 100% worth hanging in there for them. So hang in with those shoulders. Be consistent. Set a day or every second day or every third day with these movement patterns and get them done to get healthier shoulders. All right, thanks. See you next time. Bye.